We are in fact back. And who knows? Maybe we'll finally reach a conclusion today. Not likely. But stranger things have happened. I actually forget. Really, they did. Like, what was? Oh yeah, that's right. The evidence arrived.
Yeah,
As brought in by Detective Gumshoe, of course. No, if only. Oh, I should have chat up, shouldn't I?
So this is the article in question, is it? The small box deposited by the pawnbroker by Mr. McGilda 2 months ago. And on the night
of Mr. Winnipeg's murder.
The continuation.
The only item on the shelves that was touched by whoever broke into the shop. Well, they could have touched other things, they just didn't move them.
Quick! Let's open it and see what's inside.
It's the record player! Play the disc! Play it!
Good gracious, this is no ordinary box, it seems.
Wow. Not the truth. I had an inkling that might be the case.
It would appear that the box houses a miniature music box movement.
Then, is it too much to expect?
I think it would be reasonable to assume that it is a device for the playback of this disc, my lord.
Ryunosuke's got that, like, bending backwards posture. It's really odd to look at.
So, here we have the means to play back Mr. McGilden's disc, deposited at Windybanks at much the same time.
Not strictly correct, my lord. It was not McGilden's disc. It was the disc of his victim in the omnibus.
But why, for heaven's sake? Are we to understand that the brickmaker was trying to sell this music box disc to Mr. McGilded?
I believe the answer will become clear if we listen to the music on the disc, my lord.
Yes, very well. Let the court now listen to this curious disc at last.
Wait, my lord!
Good grief. What is the meaning of this, Inspector? I think my voice just broke.
The music box and the disc are, well, they're unrelated to the case. No need to spoil the somber atmosphere in this courtroom with a silly bit of music.
This disc may very well have motivated the culprit in this case to commit murder. Clearly, there's every chance that it's fundamentally important to understand what happened. And then they play it and it's just like Mickey by Tony Basil.
The prosecution has no objection.
Is that the new Rickroll?
What?
Is that the new Rickroll?
No, it's not. I'm just like trying to think of a song that is more than commonly referred to as being annoying and whatever. I don't hate the song.
Clearly Scotland Yard has some vested interest here. But it is a policy of this prosecutor to leave no avenues unexplored unless they help my case to not explore them. And you, Inspector, have no jurisdiction here to prevent that from happening. Wow!
No further delays, please. Play the disc.
You and I. Right, no. I'm glad that they have subtitles to the music.
What on earth?
Hey, Damson.
That's certainly not what I would call music.
Now, that's not what I call music. Volume 56. No. It's just the same note playing over and over again in an irregular sequence. Oh shit, they got the do re mi popping.
Hmm. Ha 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 ha. Mr. Graydon. This really is priceless.
Oh, he's doing the moves.
After all that, the music box is broken.
Broken?
How does he know it's broken?
It can't be. Oh, called out!
Well, obviously. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the officers sent to fetch it didn't drop it on the way back to the courtroom.
Or maybe it was Gumshoe.
He had gum on his shoe this time.
Look, he's trying his
Well,
best.
With much regret, the judge agrees. I feel the court must accept that this music box offers little in a way of clues. Are you ready to move on, counsel?
Come on. Yes. Alright. It does sound as though it's completely broken, but is it? Could this music emanating from the music box possibly be a new clue? I'm bullshitting to say yes.
But you didn't say beforehand.
I believe that it could be relevant. Well,
Good lord, but how can it be? It's an abomination, counsel. Mere noise. I fail to see how it can have any meaning whatsoever.
it does sound strange, I agree. There's one thing.
This one thing, it's bothering me.
No, I can't do it. Columbo.
Hee 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 hee.
The inspector beside him has a rather telling expression on his face that says, I've got a new hat. It's as if Gregson recognizes the sound, as if he's familiar with it somehow. And that's making him appear extremely on edge. Well, I mean, if you're listening to music that doesn't, like, resolve it properly, it can just make you edgy like that. It's not to say you're suspicious.
If it's the stance of the defense, my Nipponese friend, answer me this.
Oh! Shout out to the 1995 #1 hit in Australia, Here's Johnny by Hocus Pocus, that literally has no melody and is just boom, 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 like the same note, just like, and for some reason it was a #1 hit for 6 weeks. It's great.
Just what relevance do you propose this woeful chiming has on this case?
Oh my god, Van Zeek's just sounded 60 years old. 70 years, I don't know.
I mean, he could be. He looks ageless.
What, you saying he's like a vampire or something?
Mmm.
32. Wait, actually, how many other guys? How old are they?
I mean, that's what he claims, right? We don't know if this is true.
It's the defense's belief that the sound emanating from this music box is... it's Morse
code.
Or a really bad way of delivering Braille.
Why not both?
Just because this is a music box, it doesn't necessarily mean the sounds we're hearing are music.
Sorry, chair noises.
Yeah, no, that was appropriate with how he reacted. Look at that. The smile vanished from Graydon's lips as soon as I said it. I'm on the right lines here. I must be.
Making deductions based on how people react to what you say. You're acting just like Hurley, Runa.
Objection! Sounds we're hearing aren't necessarily music. Well, now that you've told us that they're not, I'm sure the court would like to hear what they're... Yes!
I had a joke and it didn't come out right.
To enlighten us, my Nipponese friend.
Well,
Surely you have an idea in mind, because if not, it will be the death of your ill-formed argument.
Exactly. The music box is clearly broken. Refusing to accept that fact is purely foolishness.
got me. I don't know what the answer is. Yet. Oh, sorry.
Runa, I've just examined the music box very thoroughly. And I'm fairly certain that it's not broken at all.
Really?
Really, the way it's been made, it can only produce a single note anyway.
Thank you, Iris. Alright. Well, if the music box isn't broken, it must mean the sounds it's producing have some significance that isn't musical. Look, if you're doing this with the evidence, I'm sure you could just take the piece of paper off. It probably says something on the other side too. Ah. Could it be? Is that what these sounds are?
Something's just struck me, Runa. I feel like recently, in the past few hours even, I've heard another sound very much like the one this music box makes.
Yes, it's a familiar sound. Actually, Iris, I was just thinking exactly the same thing. Bullshit.
I'm going to have to press the defense for an answer. If your assertion is that the sound produced by this music box is not in fact music at all, then what the devil is it, Counsel?
All the evidence we've seen so far, all the testimony we've heard, it's all pointing to one single answer now.
The prosecution demands that my learned Nipponese friend presents proof now. Tangible proof of this latest wild speculation.
Alright then. This could be the best chance I'm going to get to fight back in this trial. If I'm right, it's going to join all the dots together. The evidence explains the true nature of the sounds on this music box. Disc is. I don't freaking know. You say something recent. Did the stereoscope make a noise? I say, when in doubt, show that stereoscope again. Obviously, it's this.
I'm afraid to say, Counsel, that you are being rather optimistic with that leading, obviously, here.
If I'm honest, as I thumped my hands down just now, I had an inkling that it was gonna hurt me more than the bench. Hurt me more than the bench.
Come.
I don't know. Nothing feels relevant at all.
Did Gina do anything in the prison cell at all, initially? No, right?
What about this? Because I haven't used it.
Today's paper, Counsel. Headline is Pawnbroker perishes in pick-purse plunder. Hardly supportive of your cause.
No, my lord. I was hoping you'd look a little further down the page.
Oh? Further down? Ministry Mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. Yes, this is a very serious matter being investigated at the highest level, I understand.
I've heard that international transmissions along supposedly secure lines are somehow being intercepted and leaked to various other countries.
Presumably, those transmissions are in the form of wired telegrams.
Of course!
Juror number 5! Your input, please. Oh boy. Wait, no, that was 6.
Definitely Morse code. Stop! Oh, me? Sir? Whatever is the matter?
You told the court before that you worked at the same communication station as Mr. Great, did you not?
Yes, that is correct.
At the particular station where you work deals with government communications and newspaper reports.
Well, yes, we're not a run-of-the-mill communication station at all. Our work is extremely important.
Then tell me, is this not a very familiar sound?
Hmm?
Imagine she's sending an unrelated message while listening to this.
You don't mean to say...
That's right, madam. It bears
Okay,
more than a
come on,
passing resemblance to the sound made by your telegram machine as you tap it. I believe it's called Morse code.
Oh my god.
Now correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to leaking telegrams from government departments, there can be nobody more perfectly placed than a highly skilled communications officer.
Are you suggesting that the music box disc contains stolen government secrets in Morse code?
And we just aired them publicly.
Order! Order! Please, everyone, order! This is high treason, Council, deserving of capital punishment.
Too much new vocabulary. What is this treason? And what is capital punishment? The sorts of words I'd half expect you to know.
For our sovereign government's confidential information, hostile nations would surely pay almost any price.
Yes. And on that night 2 months ago, that was the very negotiation that was taking place inside the omnibus.
But in the end, McGill had perished in the all-important disc they unclaimed in the pawnbrokery.
My word!
In which case, whoever stole that information in the first place must have surely have been beside himself with worry. Because if the disc were to be discovered before it found its way out of the country,
I would reveal an act of high treason punishable by death.
so the culprit had no choice but to retrieve it. And in order to do that, he would have to gain entry to the pawnbrokery illegally in the middle of the night. Because the article left behind by Mr. McGilded would incriminate him too much if it got into the wrong hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Benedict?
You think I've been stealing government secrets? Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. So, in response to the defense's accusation, you claim complete innocence, do you? Well, of course I do. I've had to stand here in silence while that pretentious foreign lawyer has been prattling away.
Objection!
Then by all means, counter the charges, sir. The prosecution demands the witness testifies in response to the accusations brought by the defense.
Delighted, I'm sure. The witness is reminded that the crime under scrutiny in this trial is the murder of the pawnbroker, Mr. Windybank. Being a most flagitious offense,
I've never seen that word.
seen that word, for which the law of this land sanctions a capital punishment. But heinous act of high treason is no less a serious crime. I urge you to bear that in mind as you testify, Mr. Graydon.
Hold it!
Is he blushing?
Oh, sorry, you gotta let us have a rab and pork here, Governor. We got things to say.
I beg your pardon? Who do you think you are?
Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is professional baddie.
Name's Ringo Skulkin, but we ain't baddies enough to sell out our motherland.
That's right. We're what they call the Three Skulkin Brothers. Bad timing, fellas. Very bad timing.
A mere communications officer couldn't possibly steal confidential government information. Besides, the sounds produced by that music box aren't even Morse code. It was some low-class brickmaker negotiating with Beck Gilded anyway, was it not? I have no relation to the man.
Look, all we done is break into the gaff the other night like what he told us to do.
If we'd known there was dodgy government secrets involved, we wouldn't have touched it.
Mr. and Mrs. Skulkin.
One mister will do, governor. What's up?
Do I take it that you now admit to the crime? That on the night in question, you did indeed gain entry to the premises illegally. And moreover, you did it as a party of 3 in collaboration with Mr. Graydon here.
We did, Gov, we did! Oh, okay, so perjury.
Quieten down, please. What say you to that, Mr. Graydon? I have no idea what these 2 ruffians are referring to.
You little rotter, getting us mixed up in all this monkey business. You never said nothing about no government secrets. It was supposed to be a straight up job.
And what about the geezer whose shop it was, eh? Poor old bloke didn't have to die, did he?
Nice to know who your friends are. Like, I don't know if it's true, but like, everything that like Graydon says, legit, like, if you interpret it as they're twins, and he literally knows nothing about this, then it all seems to fit into place.
Whatever these men say, I deny the accusations. Indeed. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting this little music box to become so significant in the proceedings. However, as it has, I will admit it into the court record as evidence.
But before we do that, oh,
What is it, Bruno?
I've just noticed something about this music box. It looks like the bottom of it opens up as well.
Ah, you're right. Oh, come on then. What are you waiting for? Oh, let's open it.
In the middle of a trial. Alright then, here goes.
Don't question it, it's like how you eat in Skyrim.
Look at that. There's another movement on the underside.
So does that mean, is eating in Skyrim the most antisocial thing you do?
Wait, have you seen the memes for Skyrim when you eat and consume potions?
No, I haven't, but I've seen people like Farus doing inside people's homes.
Like, when Skyrim first came out, and like people just ate while in combat, it's just like memes of them like the Dragonborn stopping people and just being like, hang on, let me finish like these 6 pieces of cheese, 5 pieces of bread, and like 16 pieces of roasted pork or something like that. And then like it's just the enemy just standing there like, are you ready yet?
I feel like you're also describing Breath of the Wild.
It's a lot of games, but like when Skyrim first came out, it just that was the whole thing about it also, as well.
You could
And
set
also climbing mountains of horses, it's great.
you could set it up just to play it back on this side.
Yes, I think so. And it looks like the 2 movements are linked together.
They're linked.
So if you had 2 discs, they would both play back at the same time.
Oh, and then he had 2 more of these, and you could play that Flaming Lips album that's like played on 4 or 5 different discs or something at once. They wanted you to have like 4 or 5 different record players, and Pitchfork gave it a 0 out of 10 because they were like, screw this. Who'd have thought there'd be a second movement on the underside of the box?
And this movement is like the other one. The comb's teeth are all the same length.
So, this movement also only produces a single tone like the other one.
Yes, it must do. Except that the length of the teeth on the two combs isn't the same. So the single tone produced by this movement will be different to the single tone we've already had.
What?
Basically, each movement can only produce a single note.
But the notes they produce are different. A music box that can only play 2 tones. See how the gilded disc sits in the music box the man deposited at Windy Banks? Couldn't be more perfect fit.
So there's no question then that this was designed to be played in this music box.
Yet despite that, the sounds it produces are neither musical, nor do they appear to have any meaning. It just doesn't make any sense.
I wonder. If perhaps there's more to this music box that meets the eye. Maybe we haven't discovered all its secrets yet.
I mean, were we supposed to click on that one first? Oh, you could play I forget what it was, like Rummy, something like that on the back of it. That's where you kick score. All right, I'm sure that won't come up anyway. You can unless. So is this newspaper headline accurate? Government communications are being intercepted? Well, it is a British headline. So.
How could I possibly know?
What do you mean by that?
Any important government communications are handled by high-level officers, by specialists. General members of staff in a station where I work would never be entrusted with sensitive information. Oh no, stop. Must say something, stop.
Let me guess. Juror number 5!
Mambo number 5. We regular communication station officers aren't as lonely as you're being led to believe.
A little bit of agate by my side. A little bit of nashi, all I need.
Team of us are responsible for setting up and testing the telegraphs used by the ministry. Mr. Graydon is a team leader.
That's fascinating.
Graydon is highly skilled operator stuff. Godly presence of idol stuff. Oh my god, she has stars in her eyes.
She is not fit to be a juror in this case.
So you had access to the equipment used for this confidential communications, Mr. Graydon. I mean, they got him in at the last second, right? They didn't know.
I guess, but I don't know. I feel like that's grounds for a mistrial.
Well, what of it? The transmissions are always made behind closed doors, so they can't be heard.
And then, like, she gets off scot-free because of double jeopardy. Where the point value is doubled and there's 2 daily doubles hidden in these clauses.
In any case, all messages are sent and ciphered. Normal employees couldn't possibly understand them. Oh no, stop. Must say something, stop. Mr. Graydon regularly attends meetings with ministry technicians and the ministry communications team. He assists them in ensuring that there is no errors in important international communications. And he's received a top prize at the Cipher Cracking Convention 5 years in a row now.
That's fascinating.
I'm a massive fan! Raiden is a highly skilled operator, stop. Currently in presence of Idol, stop. Well, your idol would appreciate it if you would keep your mouth shut. Where did that come from? Oh, it's Kane.
She should really pick her idols more carefully.
I tell you, this lawyer's accusations are completely unfounded.
When he gets in trouble, she's gonna denounce cancel culture.
Or maybe she will sacrifice herself for him. True love and all that.
I mean, depends on what you mean by the word idol. They're not.
To anyone with a brain, that would be blatantly apparent on listening to that music box for even a few seconds.
It's just minimalist. It's still music. Of course, of course.
Surely it can't be my learned friend is unfamiliar with Morse code.
But why has no one translated it yet? Oh, she looks genuinely shocked at my ignorance.
I would be more than happy to demonstrate the basics for you, sir.
Oh, listen. Here in court, ladies and gentlemen, this is juror number 5.
Morse code is a continuous series of 2 distinct tones.
Tones, you say?
Yes, a short dot and a long dash. By combining those in different ways, you construct letters.
That first dot had some serious Pokemon Lavender Town vibes. Doot, 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 doot.
I love how this game is educating children.
It's just... Oh, actually, no. Pokemon taught me a bunch of Braille. I don't remember much of it, though, sadly. I know
Memory retention, not so good.
A is 1 dot in the top left. And B is, I think, the 2 top ones, and C is the top one and the one below that. E is the top right one and the middle left one. And if memory serves me correct, Z is, or maybe it's full stop, is the top 2, the one in the left, middle, and the one at the bottom right. It's also possible the L is just the all 3 on the right. Oh, and we learned Morse code from playing Keep Talking.
For example, this is A and this is B. But when you listen to the sound produced by this music box, you only hear 1 tone, don't you?
But it sounds so similar. The rhythm of it the same and everything.
But there's no discernible meaning to this apparently random sequence of sounds.
Oh my god. What if we need to get, like, Sholmes' chocolate one and play it on the other side? Please!
Wait, what?
Because, Sholmes had the one that he made by pressing it into chocolate to duplicate it.
So your assertion is fundamentally flawed. This is not Morse code.
No!
Really? You shouldn't be so surprised.
That laugh is the sound of a definitely not evil man.
Ha 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 ha. What did I tell you? That music box is nothing but a worthless piece of scrap. Perhaps you might consider studying your subject matter before casting aspersions in future.
Stop.
Maybe Van Zeke just doesn't know.
Sorry, wait. Ugh. Stop. Nothing to say, but stop. He's doing it now.
Oh no, it's so frustrating, isn't it?
Iris.
I mean, if the government secrets was somehow being leaked using the music box. So many other things would slot into place so nicely.
Could this still be something I haven't considered? Would it really be impossible to use this music box somehow to play it back Morse code? The thing that's weird about when you find stuff with the evidence is it feels like you're either finding them too late or too... I mean, like, they kind of want you to not look at it, but you can look at it straight away. But they also want you to do that. So they're having this conversation that I already solved 10 minutes ago. There's still every possibility this music box was instrumental in leaking the government secrets. That's the belief of the defense, at least.
Does it please you in some way, my Nepentese friend, to repeat the same line of argument ad infinitum? It's already been established that to be Morse code, 2 tones are required. Dots and dashes. Yes, I'm aware of that. And I don't know why I sound like you. Then what?
Well, it would appear the defense has a hypothesis to put forward. You'd better present your idea at once, Counsel. How do you propose that this music box, which appears to produce only a single tone, could have been used to cipher secret messages into Morse code?
Oh, sorry. It doesn't even let me skip.
Good gracious! What am I looking at here?
Just imagining them just fiddling with this thing during the trial, like in front of everyone.
Another movement on the underside of the music box.
What?
It appears, my lord, that the two movements are linked together. In other words, you can put 2 discs in this music box, and the sounds of both will play back at the same time.
Good heavens!
As the court has heard, Morse code comprises of 2 tones, a short dot and a long dash. With a second disc in place, this music box could be used to generate Morse code and convey a message.
Oh my god, I just noticed the crate.
Yeah.
I know it's been there forever, but I just, like, zoned out. This is beyond a joke!
It's just like when they get short people on Jeopardy.
Aww.
Sorry?
This poor excuse for a lawyer has absolutely no evidence to support his claims.
Well, the other version, though, is when they get, like, really tall people in Jeopardy and they can't make them look shorter. Like, there's, Celebrity Jeopardy with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on it, and he's just, like, comically taller than everyone.
Though of course, if my learned friend were able to present the court with the second disc, that would be another matter. Well,
I can't at the moment.
may I remind the court that as the witness has pointed out, he was not the one in the omnibus to be gilded 2 notes ago, striking a deal of the disc or discs.
Indeed, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. Exactly. I had nothing whatsoever to do with it. Though it has holes, I must admit the argument presented by the defense has much promise. I believe the cross-examination should continue.
The link between Graydon and the victim of the Omnibus case must be there somewhere, but I haven't found it.
Oh dear. It looks like you need to give your argument more strength, Bruno.
You will reiterate your testimony, if you please, Mr. Graydon. If I must, though I maintain exactly what I did at the start, of this pointless cross-examination.
Has that message changed? So 2 months ago in that omnibus, McGilded killed the brickmaker and stole the disc.
Mr. Mason was a single man with almost nothing to his name. It seems he lived in an artisan quarter some years ago, but people there remember very little about him.
Doesn't make much sense though, does it? How would a humble brickmaker come to acquire secret government information?
How indeed.
There must have been somebody else involved behind the scenes in all of this. Somebody who acquired the disc and gave it to Mr. Mason in order to take it to the meeting with Mr. McGilded and negotiate a deal. You know, the thing I don't like about the name Mr. McGilded is because it starts with an M and then a lowercase letter and then a capital letter. And so my mind can't quickly think enough if that's Mr. or Mick. And so I just always say Mr.
Dear me. You may have it in for me, sir, but I assure you I have more class than that.
An old brickmaker from an artisan quarter and this well-to-do communications officer. If only I could find some evidence to link the two of them together.
If you've nothing more to add on that note, let us return to the witness testimony.
Like Mr. Graydon told you to do, you mean? That's it! Yeah! Who else, eh? Silly me thought he was just popping over for a natter after all them years, but the rotter had a dodgy job for us. Ash? Let me stop you there, Mr. Skulkin. After all them years, you say? Do you mean to tell me that Mr. Graydon is an acquaintance of yours? We're the sociable kind of baddies, you know? Sure, let's say Graydon's an old China.
Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Mr. Skulkin? He's gonna think he's talking to him, yeah. Yeah? No, the other Mr. Skulkin. What? Who, me? When your brother was testifying just now, he said something that seemed to cause you to react. Oh, I was just remembering the old days, that's all. We used to have a right old laugh together way back when. Together? With Mr. Graydon, you mean? Yeah, with Ash, I mean. You'd look at him now in his fancy whistle and flute, and you wouldn't Adam and Eve it, believe it. But when he was younger, he was from a poor part of town, just like us. Is that so? But he was always a leery one. He had the brains, he had the savvy. Always coming up with smart ideas like what would never have gone through our heads. God blimey, ain't that the truth? Remember Milverton and Skulkin's milk run? That was a corker, eh?
Save it until after the trial. Your missing has no place in this courtroom. And neither does your fruits.
Oi! The geezer asked us a question, didn't he? And we was answering. Yeah, we ain't done nothing wrong.
Nevertheless, the court is not prepared to accompany you on your trip down memory lane. Council, can we turn our attention back to the testimony, please?
I don't know. Could that Sentinel's story be relevant somehow? Always add it to the testimony. My lord.
Yes, Council?
Prophet's last sentimental statement could hold vital information relating to this case.
Very well, Council. I will permit the brothers to supplement the testimony of that detail. Briefly, I hasten to add.
Say no more! A skulkin's never skulkin'!
I'm sure I'm going to regret asking, but what exactly was that? Some kind of business?
Just a little scheme we had going back when we was youngsters. A bit of fun, really. Delivering fresh milk to the locals. That's what it was all about.
Sounds alarmingly legitimate. There must be a catch. I suppose since we're here, I should ask them to elaborate, but on what? The name is what's bothering me. So this business was just a bit of fun, you say? And it was just yourselves and Mr. Graydon involved?
Yeah, that's it.
Milverton and Skulkin's milk run, was it?
Yeah, that's it.
And where did the Milverton part come from?
All right, I thought a clever clogs like you'd have worked it out.
Enough of this.
Let me guess. You don't accept anything these two witnesses are saying? Tell me, why is it that it was only at the mention of the name Milverton that you decided to interject, even though we've said it like 3 times now?
Because well...
It weren't the happiest of homes that
God,
one
it's
came
having
from.
the truth.
Yeah, his old man was struggling for money so much his wife walked out on him. She took the name Graydon then, see?
Oof.
But Ash will always be Milverton to us.
Milverton. So that used to be your surname, did it?
Of course not. This is all bunkum. I've been a Graydon since I was born. Do you really think you can rely on the testimony of these two thieves, hmm?
You're a communications officer attached to the civil service. As such, your personal details were thoroughly checked at the time of your appointment. It would be a very simple matter indeed to subpoena these records, Mr. Graydon.
Ah! Well, it would appear that Mr. and Mr. Skulkin's testimony has been reliable for once. You were born Ashley Milverton, then? Is that correct? Very well. Yes.
What does it say here? Oh, it always said his name was Ashley. Never mind. So Ashley Graydon was once an Ashley Milverton. That information could change things. Could turn out to be extremely important. Well, I guess it has to be a fact. It's in the court record.
What if Ash's real name is actually Ashley Ketchum?
Well, it's, Wait, shit. Forgetting now. Satoshi, that's it. That's his real name.
But what if it's Ashley?
And then he has to join the Ashley's club from recess. All of a sudden, we seem to be up to our necks in a serious matter of national security. Although, all this talk about interception of secret government messages is still just conjecture at this stage.
It would explain a number of things, though, wouldn't it? The negotiation Ginny overheard in the omnibus 2 months ago, and a break-in at Winniebank's. But the trouble is, it wasn't Mr. Graydon in the omnibus and Mr. McGilden.
No, it was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker, who was so horribly murdered.
If only there was a link between the two men somehow.
I know, but Mr. Graydon's testimony doesn't seems to be as watertight as ever. I wonder if the key to making us headway in the cross-examination here could be those two brothers. I mean, I literally did just try that. There was a message I didn't get to look at, though. Yeah. Didn't see this one. So did you know nothing about this music box?
We didn't know nothing. We still don't know nothing. And we ain't planning on knowing nothing about it either. Neither.
But 2 nights ago, you did indeed break into Winniebank's pawnbrokery, didn't you? In your original testimony, you said that the door of the shop was ajar, and it was like some kind of a sign begging you to go in. But the truth is, you were planning to break into Winniebank's all along, weren't you?
We were, Gov. We were. You're right there.
Because that's what he told us to do. It was his plan. And why was it Mr. Graydon's plan to break into Winniebank's then? Did you not ask the reason?
Well, he said the place was full of stuff worth nicking. That's what he told us beforehand, anyway. Turned out it was a load of old cobblers, didn't it? I weren't best pleased, I can tell you.
In any case, if they know the real reason, it doesn't sound like they're going to give it away. It just made me realize that both the movies Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch both have sort of subplots involving getting people to unwittingly become, like, rob places under the promise that there'll be stuff they can nick themselves, and in reality they can't really, or like, it's becomes a serious issue down the line. And that's what this has just made me think of. Anyway, in any case, they know the real reason. It doesn't sound like they're going to give it away. Is there something I can do with this? Oh, that's right! His name is Milverton!
Yes, indeed.
Oh, well, I mean, maybe not that. I'll try the other message. Dead to rights. Mr. Ashley Milverton, if that is your real dead name. Tell me more. Why did you try to hide your former name from the court?
Because I haven't gone by that name for years. It means nothing to me.
No, I don't think that's the real explanation at all. The truth is, you had a reason to hide that name.
Explain yourself, please, Counsel.
I have here the notes from the omnibus case, but as we all know, the victim, the man who we now understand to be negotiating with Mr. McGilden. See, I did it again.
Yes, Mr. Mason, the brick maker.
That's right. Only Mason wasn't his surname at all. It was his given name. Why have we been referring to him incorrectly this entire time? His full name was Mason Milverton.
Milverton? Do you mean to say? Saint's alive.
Mr. Ashley Milverton. Is it not the case that the brickmaker, Mr. Mason Milverton, was your father?
I don't.
As I believe I mentioned earlier, your family history will have been thoroughly checked when you join the civil service, and it really would take no time at all for the court to subpoena those records.
Truth is, you've been illegally acquiring highly confidential government information, selling it on to Mr. McGilded. Did it again! In collaboration with your father. New facts and evidence unveiled by the cross-examination of this witness all come together to reveal the truth.
The truth, you say?
That you collaborated with your father, Mr. Mason Milverton, in illegal dealings with Magnus McGilded.
By dint of this music box, you mean, Counsel?
Yes. Stealing information being sent in secret government communications and selling it on to McGilded. Mr. Graydon concocted this elaborate scheme of using two music box discs to encode this information, as presumably a safety measure against the information falling into the wrong hands.
And a very effective one. I shouldn't have given the scheme any credence whatsoever.
But the deal with McGilded went sour, and the brickmaker met its end.
Yes, but before he was arrested, McGilded managed to temporarily dispose of the stolen disc at the pawnbroker. Then, having learnt of the situation, you appeared at Windybanks 2 days ago in an attempt to recover the 2 articles McGilded had placed in pawn there.
But that attempt failed.
I love when Van Zeeks pretends that he's been on this side of the side of the truth all along. One of the discs was seized by the police, and the other you never found. So that same night, you enlisted the help of the Skulkin brothers and broke into the pawnbrokery. This time, determined to recover the second disc. Wait, they just said that the police had the other disc. Why are we not mentioning this? Oh wait, no, that is this disc. Never mind.
Are you suggesting that the second disc was inside the music box?
We never knew nothing about that. On the night that Windybank was killed. Sorry, Mr. McWindybank. The 11 changed to a 2. The intruder at the pawnbrokery touched one item, and one item alone. The music box.
As rather ingeniously demonstrated using the 2 prints from the security camera, indeed.
I forgot to say, but when they were before, they said it was a music box, I was gonna say just you know that whatever evidence was in that box is gonna have been taken out of that box. Now I really wish I said it out loud, and then someone watching this back who's already played this game is like, he knows. So the question that naturally begs answering is this: why was only that one article disturbed? The answer is obvious. Because it contained the second disc, which the intruder was desperate to retrieve. Since, if it were to fall into the hands of the police, it would be proof of high treason. Well, Mr. Graydon, do you deny all of this actually began on that fateful night 2 months ago? We still haven't worked out who the murderer is! Where does that come into the play here?
Wait, who's the murder?
I mean, I'm guessing it's him, but like, it's not. They're not talking about it.
I, I refuse to accept any of this nonsense.
Sir, this is a Wendy's. There appears to be blood seeping through the sleeve of your jacket. Is he holding the disc right now?
What? How dare you accuse me of such a thing? Ah!
2 nights ago, we know that 3 shots were fired at the scene of the crime in Windybank's pawnbrokery. 1 took the life of the pawnbroker himself. 1 struck the pouch around Mr. Sholmes' waist. And the final bullet struck the calendar on the wall of the shop, having first pierced the arm of one of the intruders. Mr. Gray, that wound in your arm that you seem trying to hide, it's a bullet wound, isn't it? Wait a tick. Oh wait, we already identified that. Oh, I thought I was so slick. He's got you now, me old China. Time to call it quits in Croak, I reckon.
Don't acknowledge my presence there under any circumstances whatsoever.
I love when they explain the way they plan to lie in court.
Those are my terms, remember? And I paid you handsomely to comply. Well, you chose the wrong people. you
Just
dumbass.
like, I like just admitting to different crimes.
Clearly, I was a fool to think I could trust some common backslum thieves. Fine, I admit it. I was there in Windybanks that night.
You wasted 3 hours of our lives by not just saying that.
I paid this pair 10 guineas to accompany me. Look, he wants to get off scot-free. He's going to try his hardest to argue out of this. And
Maybe
as
he-
you noticed...
Sorry.
Go on.
Maybe he shouldn't try. He should try not doing illegal things.
Maybe he should just hire smarter people. It's not illegal until you're caught.
Mm.
As you
Or
noticed.
you have enough money.
Both. And as you've noticed, I sustained an injury in the course of my adventures. But that is all. I admit to nothing more. Stealing government secrets, negotiating with Mr. McGilded. I can still do flamboyant dances with my wound and lift my arm up with no problem whatsoever. No painkillers, hey. As God is my witness, I am sure I recall nothing of the sort.
Could he not have like gotten a bandage or something? Like,
I feel like he might have, but like, there's just too much blood.
he's not gonna go down without a fight. Not until I can show hard evidence. I suppose. Does that mean like he's just not treating this wound in general? So, like, nevertheless, the defense has now established a crucial fact.
Which is?
Well, you know that 1 bullet was fired from each of the 2 firearms we have in evidence. The bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun hit the pouch around Mr. Sholmes' waist. Oh, is it gonna be who did the other shot? And the bullet from Mr. Windybank's gun clearly must have been the one that caught Mr. Graydon in there. Oh wait, never mind.
Indeed it must. We can rule out the possibility that a man shot himself.
But he sure did try a few times. And that leads us to only one conclusion. Mr. Windybank was shot by a 3rd gun.
Where is this smoking gun you literally mentioned?
which can only have been fired by the third intruder. Well, not necessarily, but sure, let's go with that.
Goodness.
That's right, Mr. Graydon. The only person who could possibly have shot Mr. Windybank that night is you! Oh, there they go. They brought it back.
Ha 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 ha. You little upstart. You made a grave mistake when you summoned me here.
What? What's that supposed to mean?
Yes, as you so rightly say, I was there at pawnbrokers. I did my best to hide the fact, naturally. I had no intention of ruining the distinguished career I'd built for myself at the communication station. But did the thought never cross your mind? Did you never consider the possibility?
Did Gum Fudge never tell you? What? What do you mean? What thought? What possibility?
The possibility that if I were at the scene, I may have witnessed a crucial moment. You see...
Oh, is he gonna say, ladies and gentlemen of the court, yeah, but you. I mean, no, you.
This makes me a key witness in this case, and I have my hands firmly around the neck of your client.
Well, you did just lie about everything that happened, but sure, you can be a witness. What?
Are you suggesting? I saw it all!
I saw the pain as I pulled the trick. Wait, let me read that one back.
Saw the very moment that pickpocket girl pointed the gun at that poor defenseless pawnbroker and shot him.
You know, if you read that sentence a certain way, he's not lying. He did see her point the gun at him. And he shot him. You what? You see the gun that magically disappeared. Hey, Valde.
Order! 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 Well, it would seem we are finally entering the last act of this theatrical trial. I am glad the judge has decided to confirm that for us.
I mean, the thing is, wouldn't the end of the game be also extra long? Mr. Graydon! Like, there's no way they're going to wrap up the case and be like, yep, we're done. There's got to be more.
Yes?
I trust you are fully aware of the implications here. If it is shown your claim is false, you will have incriminated yourself as the killer.
As well as all the other crimes you just did. Oh, he knows! He knows!
Oh, I understand fully. But I must ask you to give me your formal testimony once more. You will explain to the court precisely what you saw at the moment the defendant allegedly shot the victim. Nothing would give me greater pleasure. While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was still near the entrance to the shop. When Windybank threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though. The accused in a black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. I saw the blood spatter all over that wretched girl. And she tossed the gun out the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape. Good gracious! This is quite extraordinary testimony.
Just a moment. She tossed a gun through the peephole? How big is it?
You claim, sir, under oath, to have clearly seen the defendant pulling the trigger.
Oh. Along with all those other truths you claimed under oath.
Order! 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 Wasn't my intention to testify in this way. But neither is it my intention to be found guilty of a murder I didn't commit. You see, my hand has been forced. I tell the truth now as an act of self-preservation.
The truth.
Do you swear to tell the truth and the whole truth? Or something, something, something.
Until now, the prosecution was completely unaware of these details.
Yes, well, sorry about that.
Having shot me in the arm, the pawnbroker was then shot in the back by the accused. And as I said, she was showered in his blood.
You say the blood splattered over the accused's coat. Are you sure on that point?
Oh yes, quite sure. All of the black overcoat that pickpocket girl was wearing at the time. Really? If her coat could somehow be shown to harbor vestiges of blood, there would be conclusive evidence here.
Such an investigation is entirely possible, my lord.
What?
Only very recently, a German scientist has developed a technique to identify human blood.
They go, yep, that's blood.
So here's to true science, not some amateurish detective's dubious foray into the world of chemistry.
There's nothing dubious about Hurley's work. His ideas are all sound.
Ideas are no use to us here. In science, as in law, theories must be proven before they stand. In Germany, the technique has already been employed in the courtroom on the basis of evidence. Scotland Yard has a small quantity of the chemical reagent used. With your lordship's permission, we could shatter all vestiges of doubt within minutes.
This doesn't look good, Murdo.
Why not?
Well, we know, don't we, that there's blood all over the front of Ginny's coat. If they tested with the chemicals...
Oh, help! You're right! I was forgetting what happened yesterday. I mean, like, 3 weeks ago.
Don't move, Ginny! I'm going to shoot!
Well, if the prosecution can conceal evidence... But that's not Mr. Windybank's blood. The stain is from 2 months ago. That's Mr. Mason's blood from when he was stabbed by McGilded, who was wearing the coat at the time. My lord, the defense objects to the test proposed by the prosecution.
Overruled. Lord Van Zieks, make it so at once.
With pleasure, my lord.
And while we await the results, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination.
Once they find that blood in the overcoat, Gina will be...
Counsel,
Yes, my lord.
your cross-examination.
Of course, my lord. This cross-examination doesn't go well. If I don't manage to uncover some decisive evidence or a really compelling clue now, I have a very bad feeling about the outcome of this trial. Mr. Windyback emerged from the storeroom, I believe.
Ringo and Nash were scouring the counter when he suddenly appeared and flew at them. He already had the revolver in his hand. Fortunately, I wasn't too close.
I've never been so scared in all my life. Yeah, we're just your regular mild-mannered burglars, that's all. We don't like violence.
Says the pair who carry a gun. What do you mean when you say you were near the entrance to the shop?
I was in the doorway, running my eyes over the shelves of forfeited items.
For the music box, of course.
The broker went for Nash in the first place. Then Ringo joined in, making it 2 against 1, so I assumed they would handle the situation. But I was wrong.
I was trying to help me little bruv, but the old geezer chucked me over the bloomin' counter.
So I pulled me gun on the old fella, and that soon made him scarper.
The pair of you settling upon the poor defenseless pawnbroker together. Shame on you.
Sorry, Gov. I don't know which one's speaking. You mean that's the moment you were shot?
Yes. Though I didn't immediately realize what had happened, of course. Things crashed to the floor from the counter as the 3 men were brawling. It wasn't exactly that moment when it happened, so I didn't hear the gunshot.
And the bullet went on to strike the calendar in the wall behind you.
So it would appear. When I looked at my arm, I saw it was bleeding badly, so I wrapped my handkerchief around it. Seeing as I couldn't explain what had happened to a doctor, I had no choice but to wait for it to heal. Didn't imagine it would still be bleeding 2 days later.
Did Mr. Windybank intend to shoot you, do you think?
Well, now, I don't imagine he even noticed I was there, to be honest. Perhaps the gun went off accidentally. Anyway, it didn't quite strike home.
When I pulled me gun on him, he tried to shove me out the way. And then he scampered through that door out back.
Yawning, sorry. At which point, what did you do?
Hey, Emily and Mia, welcome to the chat. I'm alright. I'm a little tired. I've managed to not make it show during this stream, I want to believe. You mean you chased after him?
I don't recall the reason why, but I ran after him to the back of the shop.
Where am I from? Various parts of Western Australia or South Australia, depending on how you interpret the question. I've heard of that place. I don't know what that's I'm supposed to say. I don't know what I'm doing. What brings you to the chat? Are you here because it says I'm streaming the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, or And what about this peephole in the door you mentioned?
Well, unsurprisingly, the storeroom's door's a solid job, made of stout wood.
If you're saying me, I said various parts of West or South Australia. As you can tell by my accent, which I'm definitely not putting on.
But there's a small opening about at height that makes you see what's what in there from the outside.
Actually, I should know that, shouldn't I? I looked through it myself. Then. Oh wait, that is actually not the sort of people I thought they meant. Just a very conveniently large.
Eyes.
And what about you burgling brothers? Did you see what went on through this peephole as well? Not likely, Gov. Didn't see nothing of the sort, Gov.
I doubt these two buffoons were even aware of the peephole's existence.
So the Skulkin brothers were there, but they didn't see the killing of Mr. Windybank take place.
Inside the storeroom, I could see the broker and that young girl standing there. The defendant? Yes, though neither of them noticed that I was looking. The girl raised her gun and pointed it straight at the man. And then, what did you see next?
Yes. When the crime was discovered, the defendant was found with a gun in her hand. That was Mr. Windybank's gun, from which only a single bullet had been fired. And as we've already established, Mr. Graydon, that bullet was fired at you.
Ah, but no, it wasn't the broker's gun that the pickpocket girl had when I had her. Yes, the bullet from Windybank's gun grazed my arm, and yes, Skulkin's gun grounded the detective. But this was another gun entirely, a third gun.
The broker's gun was not the murder weapon, so clearly there had to be a third firearm involved. In other words, the accuser must have had her own gun for her time. Because
But no other gun was found at the scene! Because I innocently took it away and didn't mention it.
Calm yourself, Graydon.
Excuse me?
You heard me. You must consider the events in order.
You should have said calm your farm.
Calm your tits, Graydon.
But Graydon's the one talking.
Exactly, he's the one also laughing. Crazily. At first I saw the broker and the girl glaring at each other, but then, all of a sudden, the broker turned to run. And it was at that moment that the little gutter rat shot him in the back. A chilling image, I must say.
Oh, whoops.
I like to imagine that this guy, like all the characters in the courtroom, are literally just like repeating themselves every single
Yes.
time, and they do that in real life as well.
And like every time I press left, it's like, can you say that again?
Yeah, and like I like to think that they have a script in front of them, and they just keep repeating it in reality, and just be like, yeah, this is my script now, and I have to say this every single bloody time. And even when you press me twice on the same statement, I just have to say the exact same thing that I was told to say last
Look.
time.
The court systems aren't perfect, but they get the job done. Oh, all over her?
Yes, through the peephole, I saw it directly. Of course, the stains are invisible now, but with the coat being such a dark color. But I assure you, that garment is sullied with the victim's blood.
Well, it is sullied with blood, that's for sure.
But it's not Mr. Windybank's blood, is it?
It's a shame we couldn't mention this to the court before. They're going to sue us, and now they're going to sound like we're making it up. No, that's right. It's Mr. Mason Milverton's blood from when Mr. McGilded. I did it again. Stabbed him 2 months ago.
It's so annoying. If they only accept Carly's chemical analysis, we could prove that.
But they won't. So unfortunately, we can't use it as evidence to support our case.
Bother.
Did I hear you correctly? She threw the gun out of the room?
That's right. After the broker fell to the floor, she started walking over. Over where exactly? In the direction of the courtroom storeroom door, to where I was watching. Of course, I quickly retreated, and then... the girl dropped the gun through the peephole into the floor on my side of the door. But why on earth would you do such a thing? I couldn't tell you. Perhaps she was hoping to distance herself from the murder weapon. Without thinking, I went and picked it up. I suppose I was worried about just leaving it there in case any more tragedies took place.
So it was you, in fact, who took the third gun from the scene of the crime.
Yes, it's yours truly.
Really stacking up that list of crimes there, dude. At this point, like, murder's not even really an issue.
I left to clear up to my lackeys and left.
Clear up. We'd made a bit of a mess around the counter, so Mr. Whistle and Flute here told us to tidy up. He thinks he's our bloomin' mum sometimes.
Well, I was paying you enough, by God.
Ugh. Tell me, Mr. McGraden, when you left the pawnbrokery that night...
Did you just say Mr.
Yes, I did.
McGraden?
It was a joke. Was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket?
You doing okay there? You're... What? You're like a bull at the gate, aren't you?
Why is it here and not here? There's like no one standing in the center on this spot. It's weirdly placed. Gentlemen. No, soon we'll find out that my Nash and my Gregson voices are exactly the same. Something wrong, sunshine? That should be highlight. You do realise that you were just violently shaking Mr. McSkulkin. Blimey, this D's a bit of it all again, ain't he? What was going on just now? You saw him? He grabbed me whistle. Why the blazes, he said, well, didn't mention the third gun when you went down the station. And why didn't? 'Cause we didn't know nothing about it. All that flaming peephole in the door. Well, sorry about that. I can be prone to losing my rag sometimes. Not hurt, are you? God blimey, way he's looking at me, I'm telling you, it's D giving me the willies. It was strange. Inspector doesn't normally get quite as worked up as that. He wouldn't normally grab someone.
No, that wasn't like Gregsy at all. He's normally all sweetness and light, no matter what I say to him.
Is he, like, faking it? Yes, well, I think he might be a special case. Like, he actually is their third brother and he's just disguised. I don't know.
Well, anyway, that was definitely out of character.
Bailiff.
My lord? Ah. Requesting your lordship's permission to interrupt a cross-examination. Explain yourself, officer. I have the results of the test that was ordered earlier, my lord.
His voice has changed every single line.
I can't remember what he sounds like.
Blood on the accused's overcoat.
I can't even remember what I sound like. Thank you, officer. Very well. The cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended.
Well, that was
Hey. How convenient. Presume you have no objection, consul. Objection!
no, my lord.
That's where he went wrong.
Well, there you have it.
The report, please, Inspector. The updated one.
Yes, sir. Traces of human blood were found on the overcoat of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. From the extent of the stains, it would appear that they were the result of spattering following a gunshot wound. End of report.
Goodness me! See, what did I tell you?
No. The blood on that coat is not Mr. McWindybanks.
What on earth makes you say that, consul?
The coat originally belonged to Magnus McGilded. McMagnus McGilded. Just before his coat was deposited as Mr. Windybanks. McGilded had fatally stabbed Mr. McMason McMilverton. So the blood on that
Sorry,
overcoat...
Consume the smackers.
It's fine. I had KFC today. So the blood on that overcoat is the blood of the brickmaker, etc.
Well, the dead cannot speak. Isn't that right, my Nippity's friend?
Wow, you making fun of his dead friend?
Way to rub salt in a wound.
Sorry.
It's okay, Renoski is really slow.
2
Oh,
months
never
ago
mind.
in
He's
this
going to be
very
reminded.
court, did you not argue fervently for Mr. McMister innocence? And yet now that the man is dead, you brand him as a murderer. Your conduct shatters any shred of respect you may have earned for yourself in this country.
He's just like so salty he lost that trial. So salty.
Well done.
But that was... Oh, I call it a bally disgrace. Treachery, that's what it is. How to determine whether the blood in that coat is 2 months old or not? Even a stereoscope couldn't help the answer to that problem pop out. It can't be done. This guy uses stereoscopes for everything. It's like, oh no, I can't get into the house. I better consult my stereoscope.
Totally normal behavior though.
But in any case, I also can't understand the way that Van Zeeks operates, because I also still get mad about the results of like Brisbane Lions games from 19 years ago. But we used Mr. Sholmes as specific. Mr. Sholmes is a detective, not a chemist.
Would you put such faith in a chemical formula devised by me, for example, when I am a communications officer?
Sorry, I gotta remember how to do this. I am that prosecutor starving boy, and he ran away crying.
Sherlock Sholmes is barely more than a figment of the public's imagination. His name carries no weight in this courtroom. No weight at all. By the way, St. Kilda did not win by a point in round 6 2004. That was bullshit.
How could you say that?
Victory is sweet indeed. This proves that my testimony is the whole truth from start to finish. How do you arrive at such a conclusion, sir?
As the witness said, the accused's coat was splattered with the blood of the victim. The only way Mr. Graydon could possibly have known that fact is if he saw it happen. In other words, his testimony is solid, the conclusion is singular. It was the accused who shot the victim in this case. That is the whole truth.
Wait, did you say mech victim, or am I like hearing things at this point?
I am gaslighting you, and no, I didn't say that.
My mech lord!
Been a long battle, this one, but this old war says something to say now, if you please. It's my nap time.
Would you say it's his mech nap time? Mr. Mech Foreman.
As of this moment, sir, the squadron's reached its final decision. Ready, men? All for one now. Well, they really... They don't hesitate on these things. Sir!
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
We have to do another witness thing right now. We're getting close.
Can you just imagine in a courtroom, everyone like hammers their fists on the table and suddenly fire explodes everywhere?
I'm sure nothing ever goes wrong with this system. Hey, Ham.
Well, it would appear the ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached a unanimous verdict.
The defense has consistently failed to unpick this witness witness's testimony. Here's to any attempt you make at unpicking the jurors' decisions being equally successful.
I don't believe it. After I've come so far. And got so far. In the end, how is it unraveling on me so hard? How very distressing to be held in such low esteem. Oh.
Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, sorry, no way, you'd pick a Linkin Park song. No way. Oh, it's Porcelain by Moby. So, if you're alive at the turn of the century, you would be aware of Moby's hit album Play. And you would know that basically every single song on that album was used in a commercial at some point. I don't know why I said a lot. I should have said like. No, I said the right thing. Like this is 2000. And it's like it's like one of the most overplayed albums ever, for better or for worse. But in truth, I've never actually listened to the whole album. I just know like 5 or 6 songs from it. Like most of them, they're kind of bangers. And Porcelain also kind of a banger. In the figurative sense of a banger, it's not like it's more like hey. Like which is it kind of stands out a lot of the time. Like and I remember when I first heard it, like nothing else really sounded like it. Until of course like I think like last year I guess Lude sampled it to some extent. No, actually I think it happened this year. I forget. I didn't go back to that. But yeah, I very much quite like that Moby song, and yeah, it's a good one.
That wasn't what I meant, by the way. I just had to clear my throat. Officer! You've delivered the report now. That will be all. Thank you. It occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Naruhodo, that scientific truths are determined not by science, but by none other than the human mind.
Oh, sorry, I should be speaking like I'm on the desk. Am I going mad? Ah! What? What is this bullshit?
I quit this fucking game.
Mr.
It was great knowing you. I'm done. I'm so done.
What is this courtroom?
Not the real one. Order! Order!
What business do you have here, detective? Last I heard you were recuperating in hospital.
As well I should be, had I not been set upon an errand.
What errand?
Harley, it's really you! You're awake at last.
Yes, good day, Iris. I appear to be rather late to rise. My apologies. Now, my lord, if you will humour me. Gotta say, I'm doing pretty good considering I don't think I've done Sholmes' voice in like 3 streams or so.
In what manner, sir?
I have something of great importance I wish to give the young lawyer over there. I need no more than 5 minutes. Would you be so kind as to spare us the time? And don't ask me what I did with the real bailiff.
What say you to this, Lord Van Lakes? I
This
agree.
trial has taken many hours of the court's time. Most of it was that my witness's fault. But having spent so long already... Exactly! Having spent so long already, we don't want to go wasting any more precious time. We want to hit the to be continued page. As I was saying, having spent so long already, it would seem churlish to deny the defense mere 5 minutes. Ah!
Very well then, counsel. You have 5 minutes.
My dear fellow, I apologize for my tardy arrival. Mr. Sholmes, you alright now? Alright, I'm all wrong! Sorry. I've only just managed to summon the strength to stand, man! I asked the judge for 5 minutes! But I fear even that may prove too much for me. Pray forgive me should I pass out. He's gone Super Saiyan 3, he can't hold it for too long. Let's make this discussion as short as possible.
Hurry, this place is full of idiots.
Okay.
None of them can see how wonderful your chemical blood analysis is.
Ah well, that concoction of mine was really just a bit of sport to assist me in my investigations. I never took the trouble to provide it for the appraisal by the scientific community. An oversight on my part. Right. Modesty? Surely not. But enough of that. I'm here to give you this, my dear fellow. A bento box. What's that? A lavender furoshiki wrapping? A leaving present from Miss Susato. From Miss Susato. If possible, matters were to be settled without me giving you this. Those were her instructions when she asked me to do her this favor. I don't understand. Miss Susato foresaw today's events, I believe. She knew that the culprit would attempt to escape justice by means both devious and underhand, and that you, Mr. Naruto, fighting fairly as you want to do, would find yourself in considerable peril. At that very moment of crisis, you were to be given this small parcel. Those were the dear lady's instructions. A leaving present from Sadai-san. Whatever could it be? Thank goodness no one else is home today. What is this?
Oh! It's the machine I made.
Ah.
Look, I use this. It's my latest invention.
Are they about to say that, like, they made that, that peephole door or something after the fact? What is that?
I call it the clap flap-o-mat. I can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds.
Sure it's not a clap-fap?
It's a clap back, yes.
What's Susie up to?
Miss Susato muttered the following words before she left. I'm a failure. I don't deserve to be a judicial assistant. What? Didn't she say something like that?
Sounds freaking terrible.
It's so hard to do, like, a voice of someone impersonating someone else's voice. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world.
Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure.
Whatever did she mean by that, Mr. Sholmes? That night, when you left Windybanks in pursuit of the thieves, Miss Susato made use of this contraption for a certain purpose. That is your answer, dear fellow. No, not at all cryptic then. Susato-san used this clatfap-o-matic, that not, but why? The clatfap-o-matic is
What have I
useful for the
done?
core.
But enough talk! Have at you! Your 5 minutes is over.
We're out of time already? How many people are on this frickin' witness stand? I'm grateful to you for allowing us that brief recess, Mr. Reaper.
I need no thanks, detective. After all, the die is cast.
Is it really?
The jurors are unanimous in their leanings. No doubt, my learny-d friend will consider it a summation examination. But any attempt to alter the verdict now would be utterly futile.
I wonder! Omochi Kaili! Mr. Naruhodo! Yes? The rest is down to you, dear fellow. What is your plan? The rest is down to me? I need to be careful here. If I make a wrong move, the trial will end badly. He's talking about, like, do I end the stream or not?
Time to think. No, wait, are you gonna pick that just for the shits and the giggles?
I gotta know. It's no good. I need time to think. What do you think you're doing, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry. What of Miss Susato's gracious gesture? Would you let this final piece of evidence she let you go to waste? Final piece of... This is not a time for inaction! This is a time to hear from a witness! But it's not possible for me to bring a new witness to the stand at this point. Every single person is on the stand right now.
I don't think that's what Hurley means, Murder. Have you forgotten where we are in the trial?
Aha!
Aha! Defenses. Hey.
Hey, my lord. The defense requests further cross-examination.
Oh.
The jurors have spoken. Protocol dictates that you may not cross-examine a new witness now. A current witness, though. Of which there are 10 on the stand right now. The defense is not asking for the cross-examination of a new witness, rather to continue with one of an existing witness. What?
It would appear that a rather important detail has escaped your attention, Mr. Reaper. My lord!
Like, Sholmes has the ribbon that. Sholmes' ribbon looks like Iris's hair, is what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry.
His rhythm?
Requesting your lordship's permission.
No, it's
to interrupt the
Sholmes.
cross-examination.
Requesting your lordship's permission to interrupt Effie's comment.
Oh, well. Well.
Oh.
Thank you, officer. Very well. The cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel.
No, my lord.
So nobody can say anything then? If Bruno asks to resume his cross-examination of Mr. Graydon,
The court is obliged to allow it.
This is absurd.
I would remind those present that this is my courtroom. I concur that the defense is entirely within its rights to request a continuation of the cross-examination. However, I will not permit an unremitting protraction of these proceedings. Therefore, I have decided to afford the defense one final opportunity in concluding the cross-examination. Counsel, you must choose but one statement from the witness's testimony, and but one piece of evidence to present in support of your evidence against it.
Single chance to present evidence.
If, following that, the situation remains unchanged, I shall move to adjudication. Is that clear, counsel? You will not press the witness any further.
My lord!
Yes, my lord. A single statement and a single piece of evidence. Most generous. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's high time I fell in a dead faint. I leave this in your capable hands. What?
You just give up?
I think... I don't know. I think he was banished to the Shadow Realm. Mr. Sholmes! Wait, where did where did the Skulkins go? But did they also go to the Shadow Realm?
They disappeared ages ago.
Did they?
Yeah. To stand so insouciantly before the court in a state of such high fever. Either the man has extraordinary strength of mind or an extraordinary lack of feeling.
I imagine he's feeling very little now. It's effective in sleeping soundly in one of the antechambers.
Strike a man when he's down. Why don't you?
Well then, Consul, are you fully prepared?
Yes. One statement. One piece of evidence. I won't let Mr. Sholmes down. Or Iris. And I won't waste this final chance that Suzato-san has given me. This is going to decide the entire outcome of the trial. Next! Wait, hang on.
Very well then. Under the terms I've outlined, you may resume the cross-examination.
Phew, those vicious teeth look like they could rip through almost anything.
They're good, aren't they? They're made of a special alloy I developed for just this job.
Oh my goodness.
The cutter rotates 10 times per second so we can get through any kind of door in no time at all.
And what are the two parts at the top there?
Ah, those are for attaching hinges to the section of the door that gets cut out.
Right, of course.
Nothing can match this machine for power. It can make mincemeat of even the toughest of doors.
Sounds dangerous.
It sounds so charming and friendly when you say what it's for, but it feels like the reality of the Fap-O-Matic is that it's a grim weapon for door destruction.
Water is so adorable. There's nothing I wouldn't do for him. Even developing deadlier weapons.
I gotta just check something. Okay, there is a cat flap back then. Oh! Oh my god, I never noticed.
Sorry, what are we looking at?
Look at the door.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the door. The top part of the door. There's nothing there. And then half an hour later, boom.
Oh? That's really funny. What?
How did I not...
Looking at the bottom of the door.
This is like a fascinating thing about, oh, you're going to look at the table if you want to spot the difference. You won't notice this glaring thing going on there. It's just been there the entire time.
Objection!
What on earth is that eccentric contraption, Council?
I'm wondering if we should stop it here or not. I don't know. I'll just...
I can keep going because I can stay up late, but yeah, I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my cat flappomat, my lord. It makes a way for cats to get in and out of a room.
If anyone who's familiar with this wants to check, like, if there is a 2B continued coming soon, I'd be very grateful.
I can cut through any door you can think of and make a new little door in the middle of it.
That's right, my lord. It's advice for creating so-called cat flaps. Small doors for claps to come and go as they please in something to...
I'm sure we can work it out for ourselves. But that cat lover's contrivance has no possible relevance to this case.
Oh, really?
Of course it doesn't. To start with, there was no cat flap in the pawnbroker's door. Not being a keeper of cats myself, I'm afraid I fail to see what this has to do with the matter at hand.
Perhaps it would be help if I described this function another way then. This contraption is able to create a peephole in any door you can imagine in practically no time at all.
I beg your pardon? A peephole, you say?
2 nights ago, we arrived at the scene only minutes after the murder of Mr. Windybank had taken place. Oh, sorry. That's right. According to the paperwork at the yard, it was you, your Japanese assistant, and Sholmes. Yes, the 3 of us were together, and it's recently come to my attention that my assistant made use of this device at the time.
Your assistant did what?
There was a peephole in the storeroom door. I can attest to that. Because I looked through the peephole myself in order to see inside the locked storeroom.
This is ludicrous. What are you trying to say?
Stand up!
Of course there was a peephole in the door. I said as much in my testimony. How else could I have witnessed the crime, for pity's sake?
Yes. How could you?
What? Counsel, kindly say what you mean.
Alright, it's time. Time to strike the
Madam
final blow.
Dragons.
What I mean is this, my lord. My assistant made the peephole in the storeroom door, and until such time that as she did, the door had no hole in it to look through.
What? No!
So how does he know that there was a peephole if he didn't come back?
This is a farce! You suggesting that the peephole in the door was...
Yes, it was created only after the incident had taken place by my judicial assistant using this device.
Your assistant tampered at the crime scene while being fully aware of the gravity of your actions. This is the most serious act of vandalism.
To be fair, they didn't know it was a crime scene yet. for which I humbly apologise, my lord. Oh, good, fair enough then. It was in a few minutes that I left the scene in order to pursue the Skulkin brothers and alert the police. Nevertheless, in the light of this new information, it becomes apparent that Mr. Graydon's testimony is riddled with holes.
Riddled with. Explain yourself, Consul.
The majority of Mr. McGraydon's testimony that appears to incriminate the defendant is based upon what he witnessed through the peephole in the storeroom door.
Yes, that filthy girl shooting the man in the back.
However, at the time of the incident, that peephole did not yet exist at the door. There's no possible way that you could have seen what you claim to have seen. In short, your entire testimony is a pack of lies!
Order! 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 Is there any credence in this revelation?
None whatsoever, as my learned friend must surely realize.
Exactly. This is just some cheap oh my goodness, cheap trick designed to discredit me.
I'm afraid not, sir.
Of course it is. Do you seriously expect people to believe that a plaything can cut through a solid wooden door? I mean, just test it.
Oh yes! I designed it to be very powerful. It can cut through even the toughest of doors.
That's absurd. I don't believe it for a second.
Haha! I had a feeling you would say that.
And now she fucks up the table.
No, do it in his face.
I don't want to see that. It's a kid's game. What?
Is it a kid's game?
Wacky, cooey, time for dinner. Well,
Ah. Young lady, this is still a Bailey. One does not simply make cat flaps in the old paneling in the Old Bailey.
They simply make cat flaps at Mordor.
I'm not done yet, don't worry. It doesn't mean that the people in the peephole. But what am I reading at this point? This doesn't mean that the people in the storeroom door at Windy Banks is made by your machine. There's no way you can prove that it was.
Oh my god, how long is it going to take to figure out that thing I just figured out myself?
no, but it's easy.
What?
The cat flaps my clap.
I'm so tired of this.
You got it.
The cat flaps my cat flapperman creates are all of a fixed size. And the dimensions of the peephole at Wittybanks are an exact match.
Ugh.
Well, I guess we don't need evidence, she just said it.
GG! Old Silky's lost for words.
Excellent work, Iris. Thank you.
And now, it's my learned student friend's turn to be lost for words, I feel. I believe your judicial assistant has already left the country for your Eastern Island home. My Eastern Island home.
Well, yes, that's true.
Then you may have some difficulty in establishing all of the facts. For the sake of argument, let us assume that the peephole has dimensions that are perfect fit for this contraption. In that case, when was the peephole cut? The prosecution demands proof of your answer.
Oh! Just you wait. Ugh.
What is the purpose of your line of inquiry, Lord Van Zeeks?
It's very simple, my lord. The defense argues that the peephole was created after the incident using this device. But now the perpetrator has returned to her native land, she cannot testify to the fact. There is no proof. And for as long as the defense remains unable to prove when the peephole was made, my learned friend's claim amounts to nothing more than a baseless accusation.
What? Well,
Indeed, that is so, Lord Van Zeeks. Well, Council,
I guess we can't let inconvenient evidence get in the way of a convenient false result.
Don't give up now, Runa. This is the time to create your own opening and force your way through.
Give me the Clatfapomat! I don't know if I can do this, but I do know one thing. Suzaru-san is the greatest judicial assistant in the world. No one can suplex me like her.
very well. The Council for the Defense will present evidence to support the claim made. Kindly suplex him.
Take that!
What are you? A print from that detective's infernal cameras again.
My judicial assistant, Miss Suzaru Mikotoba, is an extremely intelligent and capable woman, which is why I never had any cause to doubt that she would have considered this scenario and made sure I had the necessary proof.
And the necessary proof is this photographic print, Council.
This print shows a scene in the shop moments before the defendant entered the premises. Well, wait, hang on. What did he just say? Oh, after. I misread, okay.
Agreed. And it also shows the accusers mercilessly wielded a gun in the direction of the fenceless broker.
But more to the point, it pictures the storeroom door in the background.
Let me see that print again. I don't believe it. This really is quite remarkable, the door to the storeroom. Completely devoid of people of any description.
Mr. Graydon. You couldn't possibly have witnessed the crime as you claim to have done because at the time it happened, there was no peephole in the door.
Ugh.
In other words, your testimony is bunkum! When you've got like 4 fingers on the keyboard and you just mash them endlessly and you just that's what he was doing just then.
Order! 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 I'm satisfied that the defense has substantiated its claim beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness's testimony was entirely fallacious.
I'm so shocked. After he lied the first time, I thought for sure he'd tell the truth this time.
I mean, that's called having faith in people, right?
It's not the only thing we now know is beyond reasonable doubt. My learned friend's assistant's guilt can no longer be denied. The woman tampered with a crime scene.
Always the important things right now.
But more importantly,
that's why she left the country! She's a genius!
But Lord, there's more, Lord Banzi.
the defense may have established a reprehensible instance of perjury. But that is no more proof that this man is the victim's killer.
Isn't like that also grounds for a mistrial if like... Oh, I guess she's not technically a cop.
Yes, that's right.
What?
I was there at the scene, it is true. And I was shot in the arm, it's true. But that's all. Yes, in fact, if you look at the circumstances, I am the victim here.
Oh my god. Damn, how can I refute? I don't believe this. I mean, I don't know how many of those words got out.
Still, he can't worm his way out of it now.
Iris,
You know what they say.
fruit never expires.
There's no point in locking the cat's door after the cat has bolted. Isn't that right, Bruno? As Honey always says, one lie begets another. No, wait, that might have been a line I wrote for him in one of my stories.
Well, no matter who said it first, you're right. Mr. McGraden, not only did you give false testimony to the court, but the lies you told made no sense.
Make no sense. What do you mean by such a remark?
What you said in your testimony reveals that you know something you shouldn't have known. In other words, there is a fundamental inconsistency in your statements.
What?
Objection.
This is provocative talk, counsel. Won't you enlighten the court? Explain this alleged inconceivable.
Iris was right.
Consistency, you mean?
I know. One lie
Okay.
begets another.
I thought I was the only one reading things wrong.
The inconceivable is revealed by the lies in the witnesses' statements. They show that Mr. McGraden had knowledge of something he shouldn't have known about. Namely, I mean, all of them? I feel like it's the peephole though, because he wasn't. I mean, it's. That was what was bugging me the first time. I guess he could have seen it in the photo, but that's dumb. The point is not just that you lied in your testimony, Mr. McGraden. It's the nature of the lie you concocted that is so revealing.
You were not making any sense.
Then let me ask you a simple question. How is it, Mr. McGraden, that you already knew of the existence of the people on the storeroom door?
What? Well, obviously I...
When the imposter is sus.
Has the cat got your tongue, witness? That's why it bolted.
The people on the door was made after the incident occurred. And then once I returned to the shop having failed to catch the two burglars, Scotland Yard's investigators arrived immediately. Since that time, the police have been at Windybanks constantly carrying out their investigation. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson? Oh, well, yes, of course, the place is chock full of pawned articles and my lad have to thoroughly examine them all. So I gave the order to the officers working around the clocks in shift to get through it all. And consequently, there's no way that you, Mr. McGraden, could have gained access to the shop. Therefore, you should have known nothing about the peephole in the storeroom door. So the fact that its existence forms the basis of your testimony is completely inconceivable.
Objection.
Ah!
You keep using that word. And yet, the fact remains that Mr. McGraden did maintain that he witnessed the crime take place through the peephole in the door.
How on earth is that possible?
Could I have a word, please, Lord Van Zeeks?
Speak, Inspector.
It's just that I really ought to be getting back. Also, you said they were gone. He's standing there now.
But they weren't standing there on a witness stand. Like, it's just 3 men for a long period of time.
They were standing there
They
for
weren't
most of
being-
today's. Like, they were. Like, they only stopped standing there when Sholmes got there because, like.
Yeah,
But now
only
they're
that bit.
back.
only that bit.
Explain! So I
It's
really
important,
ought to be
yeah.
getting back to the station now to put in my report. There's nothing really more I can add to this testimony, so if it's all the same to you,
Permission denied.
Or maybe Sholmes just like divided up into both of them when he fainted.
you're saying that Sholmes is 2 men in the coat?
Yeah, why not?
It's not all the same to me, Inspector. Not at all. You will remain exactly where you are until this trial concludes.
Oh, of course. So. Mr. McGraden. You shouldn't have known about the existence of that peephole. Which can only mean that you must have been informed about it by somebody else.
Objection!
Stop there, my learned friend. You realize, I trust, that the words you just uttered have extremely serious implications.
Yes. But the defense believes that the details of that case Mr. McGraden claims to have seen. I'm doing not even without him thinking now. Must have been revealed to him by a certain person before his testimony. And in fact, considering a particular clue, there's really only one person it could be. Who is the person in question, Counsel? Who gave this witness details of the crime scene to facilitate his false testimony?
Take that!
The truth is, it can only have been you, Inspector Gregson. Yeah. I think this is a good time to stop. I'm going because if I go too long, then it'll take ages, and if I go too
Yeah,
then the next stream will be like 10 minutes or something. I don't know.
yeah.
So just like leave on that bombshell. And that way, because I've already just presented evidence, I won't have to return to the stream in however many days and try to remember what was going on. Because the game will explain it again.
I'm glad that you have a safety net this time around.
Be funny if this was just like a pre-scripted response that's actually wrong. So when do you want to do it again?
Should be good next week, but let me keep you posted.
Right.
But I should be fine Sunday as well.
Sunday's no good for me.
Sorry?
Sunday's no good for me.
Okay, no worries.
But so await the thrilling conclusion of this trial on some other day. Or if you're watching this via a VOD, you just click on the next VOD, assuming like you're watching this in the distant future, in which case I don't know, I don't have anything to ask you, but if you're here, at least that means it all worked. So yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, etc, etc, yada 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 yada. Bye.